Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining me for another edition of Electric Avenue's YouTube updates. This will probably be the shortest video that you're going to have for the next 3, 4 months at least. Not a lot of new releases this week. So, first, let me just say we're sending out heartfelt wishes to everybody affected by the wildfires in the Los Angeles area. Just a terrible scene out there. And we do have at least one customer who lives fairly close that had to evacuate. So, we're praying for you. We're praying for your record collection. We're praying for your, you know, domestic animals and such, any animals that are affected by this. It's just heartbreaking. So, can't even imagine. But anyway, our best to you. So let's get started with the new releases. Again, there aren't very many this week. I'm not even sure. There might be one jazz release. It's very light. Next week is really when the sort of bigger releases start. So I'm going to give you sort of a preview today. I did some list collecting and stuff that I thought I would run through. So if you get your pen and paper ready, I'll start going through those a little bit later here and give you some ideas. Okay, so this week, first new release. This actually came out before Christmas in streaming, and it's now available in stores. And it's Childish Gambino's latest release, Atavista. And I think he said this might be his last record. I can't imagine that Donald would just leave with this, but includes a single Time featuring Ariana Grande and Littlefoot Bigfoot featuring Young Nudie. So it's kind of a nondescript album cover, very white. The name Childish Gambino is sort of embossed into it there. So they actually embossed the parental advisory too, which is hysterical. Uh, all right, and so I don't know how big that's going to be, but and then another new release this week that's been talked about quite a bit. Ringo Starr, and look up his country album. Ringo's what 84 years old now, I think. Looking pretty good there, with a little bit of help from some sort of hair dyeing. I'm assuming, but anyway, 11 new songs actually features some pretty big names that are pitching in on this. Can't remember who. They're all country people. So if you're into country music, this might be something that you're interested in. Beatles doing country. I mean, it is what it was the year of country singers, I suppose. So, and then you definitely have Ringo fans. So, and he's done so many styles. Why not? Why not? Let's see. Franz Ferdinand and their new album, The Human Fear. Kind of interested in hearing this. Alex Capranos and company. They've sort of changed personnel a little bit. Believe they have a female drummer now. And then one of their main guitarists, was it Nick? Can't remember what his name was. He left, and then they replaced him with two people. That might have been on the last record, so this might be their second album as a sort of new group. But anyway, this is the limited edition white vinyl, gatefold sleeve and download code. So I don't know if the looks like the Ringo's a regular vinyl, and nothing mentioned on Childish Gambino either. So, and this is a new band, I think newish, the Lambrini Girls. Who Let the Dogs Out is the name of their record. The cover's pretty funny. Um, I think it's sort of like punky. I don't know. It says the description. First of all, it says the color is gay Smurf dick blue vinyl. And it says party music for gay angry sluts. So the Lambrini Girls, they kind of, I mean, it's a funny way to market yourself, I suppose. What songs do we have here? Oh, Big Dick Energy. Great. No homo. Filthy Rich Nepo Baby. Let's see. I'm not reading the last one because it has the C word. So, anyway, I know the Brits don't care, but Americans, Anyway, there you go. The Lambrini Girls. That'll make you laugh. Steve Earle, his new live record. This came out on CD in the fall, and now we get the vinyl. This one is called Alone Again, live. Let's see. It has 15 tracks. Ends with Copperhead Road. I mean, I think most people sort of know what they're getting when they get a Steve record at this point. Let's see. You got a reissue from Brian Setzer, Dirty Boogie. This was Brian's biggest solo record, I'm sure. It was a sort of a big comeback record after many years with Stray Cats sort of being mothballed, and then he had a solo career, and then he did this, which was really the Brian Setzer Orchestra. This is the one with Jump, Jive, and Wail, and I believe this is on a color vinyl too. First time since 1998 on vinyl, and it's a sort of greenish seafoam color. Nice with the cover art. But yeah, Dirty Boogie. Let's see, a couple of Little Richard reissues. We've got The Second Coming and King of Rock and Roll. And let's see, King of Rock and Roll is in all his funk rock country drenched regalness, pressed on white vinyl, featuring the hit single Dancing in the Street and Green Power. And then the other one said, and what year is that? Does it say? Oh, it's not going to say. Well, darn. But the other one says 1972. R.A. Bumps Blackwell produced rocker, pressed on red vinyl, featuring the single Mockingbird Sally, liner notes by Bill Dahl. So, a couple of Little Richards here. Sort of delving into his back catalog. Peter Tosh, they've been doing reissues of Peter. This one is special edition recycled yellow vinyl. Wanted is Wanted, Dead and Alive. This is probably one of his most iconic album covers. This one, Coming in Hot, Nothing But Love, Reggae Miletus, Rock With Me, a Wanted, Dread and Alive. Sorry. Did I say Dead and Alive? I meant Dread and Alive. All right. Al Di Meola. So this is the sort of one jazz release this week. It is an Impex reissue. So this is like super high quality, like basically audiophile. I think Al must have some sort of in with the company because he might even be part owner. I don't know, but because was it last year or the year before, there was an album that featured him and two other John McLaughlin. It was a trio, and there was a special edition of that was sort of unreleased material or from a different night. This is one of Al's most famous records, maybe his most famous as a solo artist. Features Jan Hammer, Steve Gadd, Anthony Jackson, Paco de Lucia. That was the other player I was thinking of. Features Flight Over Rio, Midnight Tango, Mediterranean Sundance, etc. But it is Elegant Gypsy, the name of the album. So this runs in the $54 range. That's why it's because it's like an audiophile edition of it. Impex does an excellent job with their analog recording, analog mix, analog master, analog lacquer cutting. So gonna get really good sound there. All right, Wasp, the Crimson Idol. Some people are not going to be expecting that I was holding that up today, but I know the power of a good Wasp record, and this album was pretty popular. Let's see. This was it Blackie Lawless that was in this band? I'm trying to remember. Half Speed Master, 2 LP with bonus tracks, the 1992 epic rock opera, mastered half speed for superior, sharper, more direct, and engaging sound on Madfish Records. So, there you go. All right. They Might Be Giants, and sort of an unexpected album, The Spine Surfs Alone. This is rarities from They Might Be Giants from 1998 to 2005, pressed on translucent red vinyl. This features the Spine Surfs Alone EP, which is like 7 tracks. Then you get From the Severe Tire Damage LP. There's 4 tracks there. The single Boss of Me, which I believe is that the Malcolm in the Middle song? Then there's a B-side, Man It's So Loud in Here remix, a couple of compilation tracks, and the Working Undercover EP. So it's kind of a hodgepodge of stuff, but songs that you're not going to find necessarily other places on vinyl. So, all right. I think that's it. Do I have any CDs to show? I had CDs, but I don't think there were many of them. I don't know where I put them. Oh, here they are. Oh, there's a Rosanne Cash Essential, which is new. This actually came out on vinyl and online, and now we get the CD, the new Joan Armatrading CD. How did this happen, and what does it now mean? It's a long title. It's kind of hard to read too. Joan Armatrading. A guy named Early James with an album called Medium Raw. He's produced by Dan Auerbach. I believe it's on his Easy Eye Sound Records. Let's see. It says stripped down recording of Medium Raw. So this might be sort of a reissue. I don't really know actually. It says, I don't know, 2025. And then Mark Tremonti from Alter Bridge. This is his new CD. How, let's see if I can read this too. How the end will show us how. I'm trying to read it like top to bottom instead of bottom to top. A couple of those, I think that one, the Joan Armatrading, are coming on vinyl later. So, let's get to some of these previews here. I'm just going to run through some of these lists because I figured that, you might sort of appreciate knowing what's kind of coming in the next 2 or 3 months. So, first thing, so January 17th, because this was for January 10th, so there wasn't a whole lot. We're still coming out of the holiday season. January 17th, we'll have the new Mac Miller, Balloonerism. That's posthumous material that's not been out before. And the new Saint Etienne record, which came out overseas before Christmas. It's streaming. It's called The Night. It's sort of an ambient album, sort of like, someone said it was like guided meditation, and it kind of feels like that. It's got a lot of sort of old English folk mixed with like light electronica and some sampling of nature sounds. It's an interesting record. Another record I'm really looking forward to on the 17th, Weather Station. I really liked the last record was good. It was sort of a piano based, but the one before that, the big album from like 2020 or 21. Anyway, that album was one of my favorite albums of the year. If you're into like mid-period talk, check out Weather Station. She's got a really great voice. I forget her name. She's Canadian. And also sort of in that Beth Orton type vibe. There's a couple of Grateful Dead reissues coming out that day. Skull and Roses is being done for the Rhino Start Your Ear Off Right by Grateful Dead, right? So it's a color vinyl version of that. The other thing is Dick's Picks Volume 3, which is like a $250 box set or some crazy amount of money, as they all are. But yeah, So there's two Grateful Deads that day. Vince Guaraldi, his Be My Valentine, Charlie Brown, is coming out the 17th. Also, new David Gray. Dua Lipa with her new live record. Steve Hackett has a new live record if you like Genesis. Soul Coughing has a reissue that day. A couple of other reissues from Pains of Being Pure at Heart, Songs Ohia, Low, and Yo La Tengo have some sort of a collection. The 24th, that's a big day actually. The Weekend has a new record. Blink 182 have a new album. Larkin Poe, very popular, up and coming. FKA Twigs have a new album, or has a new album. Eusexua is, I think, the name of it. Eric Clapton has a new offering. Mogwai, Underworld. And the Underworld has been out since the fall on CD, so it's finally on vinyl. God, it's so dry in here. It's getting to me. Thin Lizzy and their new acoustic record from 1977. Benjamin Booker, the Doohickeys, Verve, The Verve have a greatest hits album. Complete Unknown, the soundtrack that Timothy Chalamet does the Bob Dylan stuff. Yes, Fragile, the Steven Wilson mix. And by the way, Steven has a new record coming out in March. John Lee Hooker, Lightnin' Hopkins, the two of them. Verve Acoustic Sounds sort of releases there. Teddy Swims, Matt Berry, and Ice Nine Kills has reissues that day. Let's see. Going on to January 31st. Steely Dan with Katie Lyde, the reissue of that. There are 4 Rush reissues that day. They're all more Rhino, Start Your Ear Off Right, and they tend to be releases from the 90s, like the 80s into the 90s, or might all be 90s albums getting reissued. Also, Alan Toussaint and Eddie Hazel have reissues coming that day through Rhino. There's 2 Stax box sets of singles, Stax Volt Years, and The Cult have a sort of mid-late period album reissue. The King Gizzard acoustic, live acoustic album on the 31st. Mo's new album. Bonnie Prince Billy has a new record. Lily Hyatt, John Hyatt's daughter. Everyone Says Hi. It's a band that features Kaiser Chiefs lead singer. This is a new project. Eggy have a new album. Typo Negatives live at the Dynamo. Seven Mary 3, the album with Cumbersome, gets a reissue. John Coltrane's live at the Half Note and Eddie Chacon all come out January 31st. Moving into February, the first week of February, the 7th, we have Kendrick Lamar, the new album finally on vinyl and CD. Dream Theater, their new album comes out that day. A new Sharon Van Etten project, supposedly very good. The new Squid album. Wilco's Ghost is Born. Fish Live. Inhaler, that is Bono's son's band. Sonic Youth Live, Sonny Rollins, Verve Acoustic Sounds, Ollie Alexander, and Guided by Voices. Let's see, moving into mid-February, the Lumineers on the 14th, Neil Young with an unreleased album from 1977, Barty's Strange, The Doves, and Alessia Cara. On the 21st of February, Tate McRae, Patterson Hood, The Wombats, Youth Lagoon, and Q Lazarus, a reissue. On the 28th, it's Amdu Mokhtar, Panda Bear, Sports Team, Dark Side, and The Chills with their final album. since the lead singer passed away recently. And then moving into March, so I mentioned Steven Wilson has a new album. Bob Mould just announced a new record, his first in 5 years. Destroyer have a new album from Dan Bayar. Japanese Breakfast have a new record. The Horrors have a new record. That's their first in, I think, 8 years. Spelling has a new album. Hamilton Lighthouser, Dean Wareham, The Young Widows, Coheed and Cambria, and The Darkness. And then April, just a few things here. Ethel Cain is like the most hyped artist right now. And if you like Lana Del Rey in her more sort of like quiet moments, that's sort of what's going on there. Also, Dirty Projectors and the Waterboys. And in May, there is a new Lana Del Rey coming out. So that kind of takes you for what we know now, sort of, up until May. We are going to have a record store day. It looks like it's possibly going to be pushed forward a week because Easter comes late this year. So Easter's on the 19th of April. That means record store day is April 12th. Pretty early. So put that in your calendars now, I suppose. Get ready for it. It'll be here before you know it. All right. Thanks, everybody. See, I said this was a short one. And next week will be much longer. Not tons longer, but it will be longer. Hope you appreciated the little mini preview. We're just kind of still getting information for this year. And supposedly Lady Gaga is going to be releasing an album in February, but there's been no date announced yet. Beyonce's got an announcement coming, so a lot to look forward to. Anyway, take care. I'm going to go try and get a drink of water. Be good. God bless Los Angeles and what it's going through. The residents there. Take care and happy 2025, everybody. Peace.